Send out my legions, the time has come. We will plunge this world into 1,000 years of darkness.
Yes, Master. Will you be joining us in the fight?
No.
But why not? You have the strength of 10 men, and you can beat any man single-handedly.
I need to sit in my tower and wait for the heroes to come. I must do nothing until they're able to come to us.
But
It's part of the job description.
You don't know how good it feels to finally be doing the stereotype that embodies you.
Well, thanks.
Hey, I'm just trying to keep you humble as always. Everyone needs someone in their life to keep them humble.
Yeah, okay, sure. Let's just get started on actually, discussing the stereotype here, okay? We don't need to do this comedic intro or have you pretend to be a genius again, so let's just get going.
If you say so. So how are we going to do this? How are we going to fix this Sauron stereotype and make him an interesting villain?
Well, we can't.
What?
We can't.
Yeah, you said that the first time. What kind of excuse is that? Isn't the whole purpose of the series supposed to show how we can fix the stereotypes and tell our viewers how they can stop making the same mistakes over and over again?
Well, I mean, of course that's what the series does, but you didn't ask about the evil Overlord stereotype, you asked about the Sauron stereotype. And those are two very different things.
No, they are.
Yeah, they are. Okay, look. The evil Overlord stereotype is so much bigger than the Sauron stereotype, okay? So yes, you do have some people like Sauron. People like Emperor Palpatine or Galbatorix. But the thing is, you have other types as well, such as the type represented by Ronan the Accuser, the White Witch, and the Adderhead.
What's the difference?
Well, Sauron, Palpatine, and Galbatorix all represent that specific type of evil Overlord, who just hunkers down his fortress all day and has his minions do his bidding. And you don't get to see him till the final battle, or in the case of Sauron, you get to see him never, okay? The big masterminds behind everything. The problem is, as long as your villain's replicating Sauron, he can never be interesting.
Now you're criticizing Lord of the Rings as well. Come on.
No, I'm not. And that's because Tolkien never meant Sauron to be interesting.
Really?
Really, look, Sauron spends all of his time inside the tower and never makes a cameo in the scene. Of course Tolkien didn't want Sauron to be interesting. He chose that for a very specific reason. If Sauron was more interesting, Saruman and Gollum would have had to fade from the spotlight some. The purpose of Sauron was to be able to set the story in motion and then highlight the more interesting villains. Tolkien did that well, but Sauron was never supposed to be anything more than that. Look, it's just like what you were saying in the last video when you were pretending to be a genius.
I wasn't pretending.
Yeah, you keep thinking that, okay?
What's on the inside always explodes to the outside.
Look, either way, like you said, not all characters need to be well developed for if their role doesn't call for it. So if you want to do a villain like Sauron or Palpatine, go for it. But just don't be surprised when no one cares much about him as a villain. That's why all villains like this really need a Saruman or a Darth Vader in front of them at the battle lines. Because if a villain's going to be more interesting, he's going to have to be active.
Okay, so it's fine to do a bland Overlord if you're not trying to focus him on it as a character.
Or a villain, yeah.
But if you want to turn him into an actual character, what do you do?
Well, I mean, the solution is going to be pretty easy. You just need to focus on him as a character and allow him to actually do things, you know? The evil Overlord needs to be on the front lines of his army, taking action, making choices, and actually having a personality. That's why the Adderhead from Inkspell and the White Witch from Narnia work better as characters. We actually get to spend time with them as characters, so we don't tend to think of them as falling into the evil Overlord stereotype because they're not stereotyped at all.
Okay, but shouldn't it be possible to write interesting overlords while keeping them holed up in their fortress?
That's tricky, and that gets back to the basics of character development in writing, okay? Interesting characters need to be active. That's just so necessary to make them interesting. So I'm not going to say that you can't write an active character who never leaves his fortress, but it's not going to be easy to keep them active while keeping them in their fortress.
I see. So you just need to make them active then?
Well, you need to give them personalities as well.
How do you do that?
Well, it begins by understanding what makes someone evil. Okay, you can't write a complex overlord until you as an author have spent a lot of time thinking through what sort of person would become an evil overlord, what psychology would lead to that, and how someone can really be that evil while still being fully human. It requires you to look into the overlord as one of the prime examples of evil, and understand how twisted human motivations can be. Now that's really hard since we often like to pretend like human characters can't be all that evil. If you're human, then you're understandable and not evil. But if you can do that well and combine a humanity with evilness, you can have a real story on your hands.
So basically you're saying that you need to acknowledge the humanity of our villains while still keeping them evil.
Exactly.
Well, you could have just said that in the first place and not gone off on this long speech. But I guess that's why I'm here. Digging through all the fluff Josiah says so that you don't have to. I'm like the Spark Notes of Kingdom Pen.
Did you have any other questions?
Nope, you actually did a good job for once. I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
Yeah, you did a really good job. Okay, let's not get too emotional here. Move on to the credits. Here's another Daniel rant.
Oh no.
Okay. In the very video of Josiah being an evil overload, the viewers look through all the videos again so that we can, one, so we can get that AdSense money, and two, to see that Josiah is truly an evil overlord. Twice in this video, he tried to make me look stupid. Obviously, there are probably many more. One time, he had me say, I see again, like, I'm so stupid, and then another time he had to say, how do you do that? I'm dumb. Here's the dummy here. How do you do that? Explain to me here. And then he goes into psychotherapy and all this other nonsense about like how you need to have the humanity and the villain and balancing the both. Like he is literally the evil overlord that his sole purpose is making me look stupid.
It doesn't take that much work.
I am not that stupid.
How stupid is Daniel? Reply in the comments below.
I'm not that stupid.